Did you know that one of the biggest secrets of World War II was not a super weapon or a massive army, but a tiny, almost insignificant flaw in a machine? A flaw that, when discovered, changed the course of history forever. This is the story of the Enigma machine's hidden weakness. Let's rewind. It's the 1930s, and Nazi Germany is gearing up for war. Their secret weapon, the Enigma machine. This thing looked like a typewriter on steroids, and it was a masterpiece of engineering. Every time you pressed a key, a complex system of rotors and wires would light up a different letter, creating a code so intricate that the Germans believed it was unbreakable. For every single message, there were over 158 quintillion possible settings. That's a 158 with 18 zeros after it. You could have every person on Earth guessing a new combination every second, and it would still take you longer than the age of the universe to crack it. The Allies were facing a communications blackout. U-boats were sinking supply ships with terrifying precision, and ground troops were being ambushed. The Enigma was giving the Axis a massive, seemingly insurmountable advantage. The Allies knew they had to break this code. They assembled a top-secret team of the brightest minds at a place called Bletchley Park in England. Mathematicians, linguists, chess champions, and even crossword puzzle experts were recruited for a task that seemed impossible. The most famous of these was the brilliant Alan Turing, a name you've probably heard. But the hero of our story today is a much less known detail, a simple rule that was baked into the Enigma's design. The Germans were incredibly confident in their machine. They were so confident, in fact, they made one critical mistake. They designed the Enigma with a specific rule. A letter could never be encrypted as itself. So, if you typed the letter A, the Enigma would never, ever light up the A bulb. It would always be something else. On the surface, this seems like it makes the code even more secure, right? It adds another layer of complexity. But to the code breakers at Bletchley Park, this wasn't a strength. It was a gigantic, flashing neon sign pointing to a weakness. Think about it. When you're trying to guess a secret message, having a rule about what it *can't be is almost as good as knowing what it can be. It gives you a starting point, a foothold. This seemingly insignificant flaw, that a letter could never be itself, became the key that would unlock the entire system. Alan Turing and his team called this the no-self encryption rule. So how did they use it? This is where it gets really clever. The code breakers didn't just stare at jumbles of letters, they looked for patterns, for repeated phrases that were likely to be in the German messages. The Germans were creatures of habit. Every single day, at the same time, a weather report would be sent out. The message would almost always include the word Wetter, which is German for weather. At the end of every message, they would sign off with Heil Hitler. These predictable bits of text are what codebreakers call cribs. Now, let's combine the crib and the weakness. Imagine you have a scrambled message and you suspect the word wetter is in it somewhere. You take your suspected wetter and you lay it over a piece of the encrypted text. Let's say the encrypted text is KZWOLP. You slide wetter along it. When you place it at the beginning, you compare them letter by letter. The first letter of the encrypted text is K, and the first letter of your crib is W. Not the same. Good. The second is Z and E. Not the same. Great. The third is W and T. Still good, but wait. Let's say in the fourth position, the encrypted letter is T, and the letter in your crib is also T. What does that tell you? It tells you that your guess is wrong. Because of the Enigma's no self-encryption rule, T could never be encrypted as T. So, that specific placement of the word wetter is impossible. This was a complete game. It allowed the code breakers to eliminate thousands, even millions of possibilities with incredible speed. Instead of blindly guessing the rotor settings for the day, they could use this method to find contradictions. They would look for places where their crib couldn't possibly fit, and by process of elimination, they could narrow down where the crib asterisk must asterisk be. Once they found the correct placement for a crib like wetter, they had a piece of plain text and its corresponding ciphertext. This gave them the crucial information they needed to work backward and figure out the Enigma S settings for that day. To automate this process, Turing and his colleague, Gordon Welchman, designed a machine called the Bombe. This electromechanical beast was essentially a series of linked-up Enigma simulators. It would churn through all the possible rotor settings, testing them against the crib. When it found a setting that didn't create a contradiction, that didn't have a letter encrypting to itself, it would stop, giving the code breakers a potential solution. The bombs were huge, noisy machines, clicking and worry day and night, running through the possibilities far faster than any human could. They were looking for that one little mistake, that one moment where the German operator's message created a logical impossibility based on their own machine's rule. The impact was immediate and profound. Suddenly, the Allies could read the German High Command's mail. They knew where U-boats were going to be before the U-boat captains did. They could anticipate troop movements, plan ambushes, and protect their vital supply convoys across the Atlantic. It is estimated that breaking the Enigma shortened the war by at least 2 years and saved millions of lives, all because of a tiny design flaw that its creators thought was a feature, not a bug. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest victories come from the smallest details. The Germans built a fortress of a code, but the code breakers at Bletchley Park found the one loose brick. They didn't break down the door. They found the key that was accidentally left in the lock. The story of Enigma isn't just about a clever machine. It's about human ingenuity, persistence, and the ability to see a weakness where everyone else sees strength. The work at Bletchley Park remained a closely guarded secret for decades after the war. The people who worked there, the quiet heroes like Alan Turing, never got the public recognition they deserved during their lifetimes. But their legacy is written in the pages of history, in a war that was shortened and lives that were saved, all thanks to spotting the Enigma's hidden weakness. It just goes to show, in a world of complex problems, sometimes the solution is staring you right in the face. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden corners of history. And let me know in the comments, what other historical secrets should we uncover next? See you in the next one.